Hello friends, welcome to Communication Skills for Everyone. In this channel you are going to learn English language skills, personality development, vocabulary and all-round development. Welcome to Communication Skills for Everyone. Today let us learn the short story by Rabindranath Tagore, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. Let us begin with about the poet. Rabindranath Tagore was a Bengali poet, philosopher, artist, playwright, composer and novelist. India's first Nobel laureate, Tagore won the 1913 Nobel Prize for Literature for his seminal work Gitanjali. He composed the text for both India's and Bangladesh national anthems. So, as a visionary educationalist, he founded the experimental school Shantiniketan. For the Western world, he was known as voice of India's spiritual heritage. For India, he was a great living institution. The summary of short story, A Wrong Man in Workers' Paradise. The author begins the story by describing the protagonist as a man who never believed in mere utility. He had no useful work, and so he indulged in mad whims and impulses. He painted and made little pieces of sculptures, men and women, castles, and ended up wasting his time on all useless and needless things. Thus, people laughed and jeered at him. He spent his life on earth in doing useless work. But fate and destiny had inadvertently penned his permanent abode as paradise after death on this earth. Just like students who hardly study end up passing the exam, so this man ends up in paradise having done nothing useful and productive in his life. The gates of the heaven opened wide for him and he was sent to the workers' paradise. But the newcomer did not fit in well with the atmosphere in workers' paradise. He lounged in the streets absent-mindedly and was jostled by the hurrying men who were happy to be busy. He lay in the green meadows or close to the fast-flowing stream. A girl went bustling every day to a silent torrent to fill her pitchers. Her movements were like the rapid movements of a skilled hand of the strings of a guitar. She seemed to be in a tearing hurry all the time to finish her undone task. The girl of the silent torrent felt that to be idle was sin and had to be busy all the time doing some work. The girl, on watching the relaxed man doing nothing useful and wasting his precious time, feels pity for him and asks him about his work. He informs that he has not a moment to spare for work, while the girl surprisingly has not a moment to spare on account of work. The girl, who never understood what he said, was quick enough to say that she would be happy to spare some work for him if he would like to, which he happily responds, saying that he had been waiting there only to take some work from her. On asking about his choice of work, he requests for one of her pictures that she had spared for him. She wanted to know if the purpose was to draw water from the torrent or for some other purpose, and it annoyingly baffled by his response when he says that he would like to draw pictures of her picture. She departs by saying that she has no time to waste on such futile things. The girl was very firm in her decision of not yielding to the man's request to give her picture to him, but the man persists and prevails over the busy person, and she finally gives in. The girl stares in amazement at the colorful pictures of the picture when he hands it over to her and asks the purpose of those colorful lines. The man laughs and says that a picture never has any meaning and it never serves any purpose. In the confines of our home, away from the praying eyes of others, she scans the painting from all angles and is awestruck with its beauty. Although it had no purpose or meaning, she was fascinated with the man's skill in painting and saw newer possibilities open up before her. From that day on, the Austrian girl never hurried anymore as she started having thoughts that had no meaning or no purpose. She was attracted by art and was trying to rearrange priorities. The meaningless was slowly becoming meaningful. The man asks for some more work the next time, and this time he agrees to weave a colored ribbon for her hair without any purpose. When the wrong man offered to make ribbons for her, the girl was eager to know why he would make a ribbon for her hair. But once he offered the colorful ribbons, she started spending a lot of time trying the ribbon around her hair, and a new joy had awakened in her mind. Much of her usual work remained unfinished. Work in paradise began to suffer as many people who had been active before were now indulging in useless things such as painting, sculptures, and wasting their precious time. The anxious elders called for a meeting as this never before phenomena was turning the people into idlers. It is then that the aerial messengers appears and confesses regarding the mistake made by bringing the wrong man in the workers' paradise. The ideal man is summoned to and asked to quickly depart from the place to his utmost relief. The girl immediately agrees to accompany the wrong man, to which the elders grasped in surprise as never before a thing such as this had taken place. A thing that had no meaning and no purpose at all. The line, "the man never believed in mere utility," means that the man never believed that he should do anything just because it is useful and productive. He was of the opinion that it is not necessary that something should be done only if it is valued and useful. The girl who only knew and believed in mere work and utility became a completely transformed person under the influence of the man who was an artist. She was ready to leave her work and place just to follow the man who had such an influence on her. At the end of the story, there is a complete change in the girl's attitude to life. The credit should go to the idler, who as an artist was committed to his craft. He loved the talent he possessed more than anything else. Even after coming to a place where everyone was working and no one had any liking for his art, he did not give up. Sometimes, though we have many capabilities, we fail to recognize and nurture it. But in this case, the man succeeded in not only recognizing it from within, but was also successful in having it impact the girls of the silent torrent first and everyone else later. Many a times there are no takers for our talents. But in this story, although the girl did not show any interest in the artistic values of the man, slowly she becomes open-minded and realizes that the art has some meaning and purpose and accepts it wholeheartedly. Initially, before the artist had his impact on the men in workers' paradise, the attitudes of the men and the artist toward duty were diagonally opposed to each other. The men believed that one had to do some work which is useful and not waste time on other activities. But the wrong man, who was an artist, continually engages in his so-called purposeless and futile work, which was quite different from the work of the men. According to him, any work which gives joy to our mind and makes this world appear beautiful is quite significant. So there are two worlds in the story: the world of the idler, artist, and the world of the hustlers, people in paradise. Both the worlds are equally important. The world of the idler artist is important because it makes our mind happy. It is the world where all of us forget our sorrows and take delight in the activities of our life. That wood of the aesthetic makes our life colorful, though it appears like having no meaning or purpose at all superficially. Similarly, the world of the inhabitants of the workers' paradise is also equally significant. This is the world which helps us to survive. The physical work undertakes in this world can only feed our mouths. If not, we will be starved to death. In this way, both these worlds are complementary to each other. One takes care of the mind, the other our body. Thank you for watching. Subscribe Communication Skills for Everyone.